So I was out mowing my grass, and I just had a couple of things I wanted to share. So I really like when the lines, be it vacuuming or mowing, are like super neat, straight, like aesthetically pleasing to the eye. And for whatever reason, for the life of me, it just kept getting like a little off kiltered, and I would have to stop and adjust so that I could keep my perfect line. And then it reminded me of the path of God and how sometimes always forward doesn't always mean straight. And sometimes you have to improvise, adapt, and overcome or let go of what you think is the perfect way. So I don't know if you can see, but the lines are there, but they're not exactly perfect. But again, the imperfections are perfect for God. And letting go and trusting in Him and His path for us is what's really the important part of the message, both in my mowing the grass or making this video. So then I heard another YouTuber say something, like right before, I mean, honestly, I was like in the middle of a mid-video, and I pressed pause because I was just like, I'm going to mow my grass right this second. Like, I'm just, even though there were important messages I felt like to be watched, I felt like too that just called to mow the grass, like right now. So then I noticed that these trees that I had planted, one was a peach tree, and then some ferns, and then my flower garden out front. So they kept getting, for unknown reasons, whatever, they're just all kind of destroyed. And something clicked to me, because I was pretty proud of them. Like, and I had to put a lot of work. I'm talking like, I had to, like old-fashioned chop the dirt and till it to get the rocks out and the glass and the garbage deep down. Because, again, and this was a learning experience, because I'm like a city girl. I had no idea, nothing about planting some stuff. It's funny because my parents were kind of hippie-ish, and I was like, I'm going to be a lumberjack and build skyscrapers, you flipping weirdos who planted trees out in the woods and were like, named them Sun Ra and Moon Ra. And I just was like, you dirty hippies, get a job and cut your hair. But whatever, that's a different story. So, but whatever, the YouTuber she said, just because you grew them does not mean they're good. So as I was mowing my lawn and I'm thinking about the path being perfect or God's plan for us and having to let go and be flexible and understanding that always forward doesn't necessarily mean always straight. So then I realized, too, that's the same with parenting. Like your children, just because you grew them up doesn't mean that they are good. Like God for us, just because He grew us up doesn't mean that we are good. So specifically, too, for the tree and the ferns, these were God's family. And I mean that quite literally, like quite literally. So I thought, even though, mind you, this is crazy, it's not crazy. If you know, you know. The birds told me, don't plant the tree. Like they told me, don't plant it. But I talked myself out of it, hearing God's voice in my head and in the birds telling me not to plant this tree, not to trust the other people either. But something, I was just like, no, that's your family, God. I mean, they have to be good because you're good. You're great. What's the harm in planting the tree? And then realizing, too, that I get sad when I cut my grass because I'm like, I think they're people or living, which they are, right? And it's like Christ is in us, and God is in us. It's in the grass and the trees and the birds, and so it's tough for me. So I'm like, that's literally feel like a murder. But then I remember too, God said He will plant us and we will be fruitful, and He will prune us so that we may be fruitful, right? So it's important to cut the grass. It's important to realize that not all the things that we grow or are a part of a family or a relationship with God are good. And sometimes we have to prune them so that we can be more fruitful, and we might have to adjust our path so that we can walk in His real glory and purpose and love and light, and not just the way that we think that it should be or what pleases us. You know. So anyway, just a quick message for you.